Back to school, but back on the University of Texas campus, there's a dark cloud. On April 3rd, police found 18-year-old Haruka Weiser's body, badly beaten, strangled, and sexually assaulted in Waller Creek. Her accused killer, a 17-year-old runaway. Police say he followed her while she walked home on a dark UT campus. But 3 decades before Haruka Weiser, there was Rosalind Robison, another UT student abducted while walking on campus at night.
And this is her story, too, as we uncover how the deaths of these 2 women changed safety and security on the university campus. Her murder broke the heart of a community. The beautiful young dance student.
It was undeniable that she was a brilliant dancer, and she's going to be deeply, deeply missed.
Taken so suddenly from the place where she should have been safe.
You just pushed it over to the far end of the spectrum of the bad things that you worry about happening on campus.
This is the man whose job it is to worry about the worst thing that could happen. UT Vice President of Campus Safety and Security, Dr. Bob Harkins.
Almost every day, you're happy that, those types of things don't happen, and all of a sudden you have it.
University of Texas student Rosalind Robison. Robison was kidnapped and killed by Tommy Ray Jackson in 1983.
Decades earlier, UT student Rosalind Robison disappeared just a half-mile from where Weiser was last seen alive.
I always felt like if there was any one person that could have been there for her, it was me.
In November 1983, Griggs was a rookie UT police officer.
I followed her and remembered her all my life. She'd been abducted from the UT campus. She was taken to 6th and Congress and forced to go to the ATM machine and make a $50 withdrawal, and that also gave law enforcement images of the suspects.
Tommy Jackson and James Otis Cleary were looking for a car to steal and started casing the UT campus. They spotted Robison, a graduate student, leaving an engineering building there and walking to her car.
Right at her car, she opened the car door, and 2 men pushed her in the car and abducted her.
They drove north in Robison's car, taking turns raping her. They stopped at a gravel pit near Hutto in Williamson County. There, Jackson forced Robison to her knees and shot her once in the head.
I was on duty that night, and that was my district.
Was there anything you think, security-wise, that could have prevented Rosalind's abduction from the campus?
From our standpoint, I don't think so. I think about her, though, when I see someone go to their car and they linger at their car door.
Our investigation found no security changes on the UT campus as a direct result of Robison's abduction. What did change on campus in the years between these tragedies? The installation of 174 emergency blue light call boxes, the Sure Walk program, where students can ask for an escort while walking across campus, and surveillance cameras, like the one that captured the young dance student and the man police say killed her moments before they disappeared into the darkness.
We do very little monitoring. Whether or not that's good or bad, we'll sort out.
Harkins has asked the Texas Department of Public Safety to include a look at UT's camera system in its campus security review.
The motion cameras that come on when there's somebody there and it provides, video evidence for us, they were beneficial, and they have been beneficial to us. So we'll more likely see some growth in that.
He also wants to create a campus-wide ride-sharing service, something like Uber or Lyft.
The student has an app and they want to go to some place, they punch the button, somebody comes, picks them up, takes them there, and it's paid for within a system of the university.
And KXAN has uncovered other security changes planned for campus. Lighting has already been added. Landscapers cut back overgrown trees and bushes and will maintain them. Officers are patrolling more on foot and on bicycles.
We need people to get out of their phones and be aware of the environment around it. Walk lighted paths, don't take dark walkways, and do your part.
And often now I see women texting. They'll leave their car door open, they'll sit in their car and they'll text. And I think of Rosalind. And I want to just scream out to them, close your car door and drive off.
Griggs and Harkins believe self-awareness is the only way to make sure everyone is safer on campus. But there are 2 students who never came home, 2 futures never to be that still haunt them.
It kind of makes you get up in the morning, look in the mirror and say, what could you have done?
She's a reminder to me that people rely on us to keep them safe. I wish I could have done more. I wish I'd have been right there for her.
Right now, we are waiting for the final DPS report about safety recommendations for campus, and it is expected any day now. As for Rosalyn Robison's case, I spoke with her father on the phone. All these years later, he says their family is still devastated. He told me he supports the Clery Act, which was signed into law in 1990. It requires all colleges and universities that participate in federal financial aid programs to keep and disclose information about crimes on their campuses.
And we know the man who shot Rosalind Robison, Tommy Jackson, died by lethal injection in the Texas death chamber in 2000.
Yes, and his accomplice, James Otis Clary, is in prison for life.
And as for the Haruka Weiser killing this year, Mikhail Kreiner is charged with capital murder, and he's awaiting trial.
And we discovered one of the biggest changes in the years between these two crimes was the creation of the Austin Regional Intelligence Center. It's made up of 17 public safety agencies in Hayes, Travis, and Williamson counties. It launched in late 2010 and is managed by the Austin Police Department. It focuses on serial crime, organized criminal activity, terrorist activity, and information sharing, which is what UT security officials say has been the most helpful for the campus and its students.
That's right, because when Rosalyn Robison disappeared in 1983, her roommate contacted Austin police, not the university, so it took some time before UTPD knew she was abducted from campus.
You can check out this story online at KXAN.com right now, where we give you an interactive look at the number of officers UT has now compared to what it had back then in 1983. Just look for this story on the homepage.